Deciding which iPhone to buy these days has gotten way more complicated. Back in the day, we only had a few models, so it was easier to pick. But now, with so many options and price tags, it's just gotten more confusing. That's why, after owning countless iPhones myself, I put together this guide to help you choose the best iPhone. So you'll never regret your purchase, keeping in mind what you need and, of course, your budget. I've broken this video down into a few parts to make it easier. I'll cover the best value iPhone, what's ideal for those looking for a standard model, the top choice if you're on a tight budget, and where to find these phones. And to wrap things up, I'll list the iPhones that, in my opinion, aren't worth buying this year. For anyone who wants a top-of-the-line iPhone, the best possible option in terms of quality and price is the iPhone 15 Pro. Even though the iPhone 16 Pro is the latest model, and a lot of people might think I'd recommend it, I actually don't suggest it much. I've been using it for a few months, and honestly, the differences from the iPhone 15 Pro are minimal, like a new camera button and a slight screen improvement, but nothing that justifies the price difference. The iPhone 15 Pro is pretty much identical to the 16 Pro in terms of design and features. It has the same 6.1-inch 120Hz OLED display, Apple ProRes recording, the same 3 lenses with 3x and 5x zoom, and the A17 Pro chip, which is already compatible with Apple Intelligence. Unfortunately, Apple usually discontinues older Pro models when new ones come out, but you can find the iPhone 15 Pro at other stores like eBay or Amazon Renewed for a much better price. With it, you'll get an excellent camera and display, decent battery, and plenty of updates ahead. So if you want a quality iPhone Pro that will last, the iPhone 15 Pro is the best bet. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss important content about the Apple world. If you're looking for a good iPhone that takes great pictures, gets lots of updates, and lasts a long time, without worrying too much about the number of lenses, the iPhone 15 is an excellent choice. Both the iPhone 16 and 16 Plus are hard to recommend for the price, even though they're great phones. The iPhone 15 Pro, for example, which costs between $900 and $1,000, offers a better screen, more lenses, and a USB-C 3.2 port, which is much faster than the 16's, which isn't 3.2. The iPhone 15 was a great update in 2023. It already comes with Dynamic Island and, most importantly, a USB-C port. The cameras are better, and the screen brightness and battery life also significantly improved. It's a super complete iPhone, and you can find it for a more affordable price. For those who want Apple Intelligence but don't want to spend the $1,000 on the iPhone 16, the option that's just appeared is the iPhone 16e. It's actually the iPhone SE that should have come out last year but was delayed and is now called the 16e. It uses the iPhone 14 chassis, so it doesn't have Dynamic Island and the bezels are a bit thicker. But the highlight is the A18 chip, which means it will also have Apple Intelligence and USB-C. Even with just one camera lens, which seems to be better than previous ones, it's a super interesting iPhone for around $700 or $799. If you're looking for a lot of power, with the A18 chip, even if it has one less GPU core, don't care about having something super luxurious, and want a good screen, decent battery, and a phone that lasts a long time, the iPhone 16e is a great option. In that price range, between $200 and $600, there are many options, especially in the refurbished iPhone market. Places like Amazon Renewed, eBay, or Apple's own refurbished section are great for finding models like the iPhone 13 and iPhone 14 Pro. If you want an iPhone from the Pro line, don't care if it has a USB-C or Lightning port, though I recommend avoiding Lightning if possible, and are looking for a device with great cameras and versatility, the iPhone 13 Pro and 14 Pro are excellent choices. They have a similar design to the newer models, they're powerful, and the cameras are fantastic. Just pay attention to the battery health, as these are used models. If you're on a really tight budget, around $300 to $350, and want an iPhone that will last a long time in terms of updates, has good performance and decent cameras for everyday use, the iPhone 13 is the way to go. The iPhone 14 can be found for about $400, but for that price, I think it's more worth investing in an iPhone 13 Pro or 14 Pro, as I mentioned before. The iPhone 14 doesn't change much compared to the 13. It still has a Lightning port, which I'm not a fan of. Although it has a bit more brightness, battery, and a slightly better chip, the iPhone 13 still offers incredible value. Especially the 256GB versions can be found for great prices on sites like Amazon Renewed, eBay, or even Mercado Libre for those in Latin America. Important, remember that the iPhone 13 was released a few years ago. It should still receive updates for about 3 or 4 more years based on Apple's history. But even after it stops receiving updates, the phone will continue to function. It just won't get security patches anymore, and some apps might stop working over time as developers focus on newer iOS versions. For those who want an iPhone at the lowest possible price, the only option I can recommend is the 3rd generation iPhone SE, or if available, even the 2nd generation. I know a lot of people who want an iPhone simply for the operating system, to take good pictures, and to communicate without being an influencer or content creator. The iPhone SE, because of its older design, is a model that a lot of people end up selling. So there are many units for under $200 in great battery health and condition. My theory is that since people want a more advanced model and the SE has a more classic design, they end up getting rid of it. So if I didn't have money for a new iPhone, I would definitely buy an iPhone SE. My family and friends who follow this advice are super happy. Did you hit the notification bell? I hope so, because you'll never miss content like this. iPhones I do not recommend in 2025. I know a lot of people won't like this, but I consider models below the iPhone 13 not worth it these days, considering the available options and updates. This includes the iPhone 11, iPhone 12, iPhone XS, iPhone 10, XS Max, iPhone 11 Pro, and 12 Pro. Why don't I recommend them? First, the price of most of them isn't worth it, as an iPhone 13 or 14, or even an SE, which will last longer in terms of updates, is much more worthwhile. The iPhone 11, for example, has an LCD IPS screen, a lightning port, and the cameras aren't the best. It was released in 2019 and it's 2025. If you buy an iPhone 11 for around $200 or $250, within 1 or 2 years at most, it will stop receiving iOS updates, and you'll feel like you wasted money. The processor simply won't support the new versions anymore. I myself use an iPhone 12 for about 4 or 5 years, and back then it was great. An OLED screen, 2 cameras that recorded very well, and decent photos. The battery wasn't the best, but it was a good iPhone. But these days, for $250 or $300, you can already get an iPhone 13, which has a better chip and cameras, plus superior stabilization. So unless you find an iPhone 12 for around $150, I would recommend avoiding the iPhone 12, iPhone 11, and all the models I mentioned before. They simply aren't worth it in terms of updates and the other options on the market. If you've made it this far and are still undecided, here's a summary of my conclusion. Besides your budget, it's essential to know what kind of user you are and how you'll use the device. If you're a simple user who wants to take photos, communicate, and have a phone that won't give you a headache for capturing your moments and doing your daily tasks, focus on a standard iPhone. You don't need to go for the Pro line. An iPhone 15, iPhone 13, iPhone 14, or even an iPhone 16e are great options. If your priority is to have the best possible camera with the lowest budget, the models I mentioned before, like the iPhone 13 Pro and 14 Pro, are your choice. For those who want an iPhone from the Pro line, I recommend, without hesitation, the iPhone 15 Pro. Honestly, after using the iPhone 16 Pro, it's not worth it right now. Probably next year when the iPhone 17 Pro comes out, if it's similar to the 16 Pro and the 16 Pro has dropped in price, I'll recommend it along with the 15 Pro.
If you're new to the Apple universe and have a super tight budget, I strongly suggest the 3rd or 2nd generation iPhone SE. There's no other phone in that price range on Amazon Renewed that offers the same photo and video quality and power. It's a great iPhone for anyone who wants to start in the Apple ecosystem without spending a lot. If you liked the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, because every week I try to bring quality content. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Thanks a lot for watching until the end. If you want to see more, there's a video on the screen right in front of you about why you don't need an iPhone 17 these days. Stay well, and until next time, bye-bye.